What if, instead of doing this, you could make 3D movies just by doing this? Or what if you like doing this, but don't have access to this?
Well, what if I told you that you didn't need all that? They could create and export 3D characters just as easily as this. Well, with the power of AI and Autodesk Flow Studio, you can comp 3D characters directly into your scene with nothing more than a phone and the internet. No prior 3D tools experience, no expensive studio rentals, and no HD mocap scenes required.
Or if you're already a 3D artist, you can output that data to the tool of your choice, like Maya or Blender, and immediately use it in your existing projects, live action or animated.
So if either of those things sounds useful to you, stick around for a bit. This is Flow Studio.
So before you can use Autodesk Flow Studio, you'll need to sign up on the website. Here you'll see a number of different tiers on offer, including a free one. Even though it's totally free, this tier still includes useful features like monthly credits, custom character uploads, video output with watermarks, and even Maya and Blender output. Remember, you can use Flow Studio to comp digital characters right into your uploaded videos. But today I'm going to use it to augment my existing 3D pipeline by turning this into a portable mocap studio. Now for the fun part. Let's go film some shots.
Here's a tip. If you plan on using the output in another program like Maya or Blender, it doesn't hurt to add a T-pose at the beginning of your performance. This will help with retargeting the animation to a new character later down the line.
The website also has a list of other tips and tricks when filming your source video in order to get the best output possible. Another thing I should mention is that even though I'm just shooting some quick little static shots in my backyard, Flow Studio actually supports a wide range of different camera movements and distances. Now that we've got our footage, it's time to take to the Flow Studio web app. As a free user, you'll have access to the Live Action Easy or AI mocap project types. Live Action will allow us to identify the video's actor, then overlay it with a digital character. But more crucially for our use, it'll also allow us to output a Maya or Blender file with that character in it. AI mocap is similar, but will only output a 3D skeleton of the actor. This is lighter weight and uses less credits, and is ideal when you already have a character waiting for the motion in your digital content creation tool. Paid tiers also get access to an animation or video to 3D scene. This will actually take an entire cut and convert it to a 3D scene, complete with background replacement, and is ideal when you have multiple actors and cameras moving around the scene over a few different shots. However, even with the free tier, I can still use Live Action Easy to comp the shot and export the fully animated character or AI mocap. Now I'll just give my project a name, and then upload my first video via the panel on the left. Once it's done uploading, I can drag it to the track on the bottom to load it into the session. Then I'll click Next. Now we have to identify the actor in the scene. This is as simple as just clicking the scan button down here. And after a few seconds, Flow Studio identifies me in the video. We can then decide which character to insert. Each of them is tagged with useful information like style, complexity, USD, and facial performance compatibility, and so on. And we're always adding more. But if you don't see something that works for your project, you always have the option to import your own character as well. Before doing that though, I recommend checking out the documentation's character requirements section to ensure the rig you upload is compatible. For now though, I'm going to choose Dummy Robot. Now, in most cases, you'll only need to do this once for the entire shot. However, you can optionally identify the actor multiple times to try and improve the output. This is especially useful for an animation or video to 3D scene project when you need to re-identify multiple characters after a cut or lighting change. This won't insert the character immediately into my scene. For that, I need to officially export it. Note that exports will use up some of your processing time, which you can see in the top right here. Processing time is assigned on a monthly basis, and the amount you get depends on what tier you're a part of. Now, if you're using the free tier of Flow Studio, your video output will be limited to 720p, that'll also be watermarked. However, you'll still be able to output the Maya or Blender scene file, as well as the AI mocap data and clean plate of the background. Paid tiers get access to a bunch of extra features like USD and Unreal Engine export formats, camera tracking, alpha mask, and more. And now it's just a matter of waiting for Flow Studio to do the work. So we've given Flow Studio time to do its thing, and now we can view the cut. And as you can see, the dummy robot now appears in my footage. However, in my case, I'm less interested in the comped footage because what I actually want is to get the character into Maya where the rest of my scene lives. For that, I'll need to export it. Using a free tier, I can export either the entire scene, character and all, to Maya or Blender, or I can just output the more lightweight mocap skeleton if I plan to apply it to my own character. Paid tiers can also output the camera tracking for moving shots and alpha masks, which can help immensely when compositing into live action, though I won't need them in this case. Once they're done downloading, you just need to uncompress them somewhere on your computer. So here I am in Maya, and I want to open my scene. First, I'm going to set my project to the folder where I uncompressed all my Flow Studio exports. This is important so that Maya knows where to look for all the dependencies. Just a quick note that the exported Maya or Blender scene doesn't contain the character's textures by default. If you want them, you'll need to download them on Flow Studio, and then put them in the appropriate folder depending on the app you're using. Now it's just a matter of opening the Maya scene, or importing the mocap FBX file, if that's the route I chose. And there we go, my animated character and camera inside a Maya scene. And while I did this in Maya, you can of course do the same thing in Blender with the free tier. Or with the paid tier, you can even do it inside of Unreal Engine or any USD compatible software. Now that we have our animation in Maya, we can make whatever tweaks we want to it. However, that's easier said than done since the rig is nothing but a bunch of bones with keyframes on them. But thanks to Maya's human IK system, we can actually get a usable rig out of this pretty quickly. I'll just create a new character definition, assign the root to the root of my character, and since Flow Studio outputs the skeleton with human IK compatibility in mind, I can simply assign the rest of the joints using load character definition template. Once that's done, I can generate a rig, and then bake our original animation to the control rig. And now we have a fully rigged character with keyframes on the controls. If I want, I can even optionally apply a simplify curve filter in the graph editor to reduce the number of keyframes. Finally, I can add a new anim layer to make additional artistic edits on top of the mocapped animation. This is where I can refine the base animation into my final vision. Not only that, but remember how I told you it was a good idea to start with a T-pose when recording your mocap footage? Well, thanks to that, this rig is also now compatible with any other T-pose human IK rig, meaning I can quickly apply this animation to any of them with a simple drop-down selection. And then once I've completed my entire cut, I can either render the scene from here or render individual parts with the clean plate to be comped in another software downstream. So whether you're interested in ultra-fast animation and compositing or need a palm-sized mocap studio to support your current 3D workflows, Flow Studio may be right for you. Give it a try on the Autodesk website and start making today.